Hello, everyone, and welcome to Conversation 26 Faith and Assurance. You are so beautiful and worthy of love and good things. Lay to rest all the demons and illusions of your past. Life can get a bit scary and daunting sometimes, but there is a fundamental truth about every single human being, which we innocently fail to fully understand, myself included. What I continue to see more and more deeply is that we are all safe and we are all where we are meant to be. Each week, I choose a question at random and do my very best to answer it from the space of love, peace, and wisdom. God is always guiding me. Remember, you are love, peace, and wisdom, and the power to create the illusion you are not. That last quote is from Jack Pransky. And then to move on to today's topic, faith and assurance. Now, faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. Having faith or confidence in the unseen is a power of trust in something that is so strong and unfailing, it will never let you down, even when the biggest storm strikes. True faith is God. True faith in God will prevail. Assurance in what we do not see goes hand in hand with faith because it is the certainty of God's promise that creation is complete and it is good. Therefore, we can stand on solid ground that God's will is good and unfailing. I'm going to read the Bible verse again, Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. Now, faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. A very good friend of mine asked me to expand on what I think that verse means, what it means to me, and how can I expand on the word, especially the word assurance. So I'm just getting it up here, so I've got it there. Assurance for what we do not see. So I googled what the word, the English dictionary defines as assurance. What does that mean? And it means promise, certainty, like definitive. It's unmoving, it's unshaking, it's an assurance. You are assured, meaning you are certain. It is fact. It's unwavering, unmoving. And in this world of finite, in this dual reality that we live in, that we're living in such a fast-paced, finite generation right now. It's just all go, all at your fingertips. You can get from one place to the next. There's trains, there's planes, there's cars, there's bikes, there's everything. And so nothing is really assured. There's opinions, there's diets, there's veganism, there's vegetarian, there's flexitarian, there's I eat everything, there's allergies, there's nothing is assured, nothing is certain, nothing is unfailing. And so in this verse, the second bit of the verse, assurance about what we do not see. Now, we can't see God, not in the way that we can see each other, not in the way our human brains on a psychological level can comprehend or understand, because we are finite beings, and God, I'm pointing at my phone just just because that's where the verse is. Anyway, God is this infinite being. God is more, and so much more, that the more we try and get to know God, the more it blows our minds, because we are finite, because we end. There is an end to the human body, there is an end to our day, there is an end. We need to sleep, we need to rest, we need to eat. And so when we try to intellectually understand the workings of God, we lose it. We lose that understanding of what does it mean to be completely certain, because in this finite world, we can sit here and be certain about something. I am certain that dark chocolate is really tasty. I am very, very grounded in that fact that dark chocolate is, 85% dark chocolate is really, really tasty. And I know you could, well, I don't know, but I can assume you're probably thinking, yeah, but that's just chocolate. Like, that's a tiny, minute little thing in the world, and that doesn't mean anything. But they can all be compared equally, like from, the worst thing in the world to the best thing in the world, to everything in between, to the things that you think matter, to the things that you think don't matter. All things come under the will of God. All things come under the creation of God, that infinite power. And so when we put our faith, our confidence that we are held by this power, God will prevail. That confidence, that like, I know it's it's a beautiful act, being in faith. And it isn't something you can force yourself to do. It isn't something you can teach yourself to do, to have that faith. It's something that comes through you, something that is an internal thing. I've talked a lot about, on my YouTube channel, I've talked a lot about insights. So there is something that happens within you, that God moves you in a way towards inspired action, inspired things, that you say things and it's like, oh, how did I know to say that in that moment? And it blows you away, it blows your mind. It's like, how did I know to say those things? And it was actually quite profound. That is God speaking through you. That is the confidence that you've seen examples in your life. You can testify your faith and your confidence that God will prevail. And then assurance goes hand in hand with that. Assurance is that certainty. And I've not been one for certainty my entire life. It's always been a sort of, an unsure about a lot of things, you know. So now coming into that assurance, that certainty that God does take over all. God is in all things. God is there, and God meets you where you are. That certainty, that promise, that when you can hold on to that, but not on a superficial level, you can tap into that God space in you, that you can tap in to that infinite power and just get a speck or a glimmer of what it is I'm alluding to, that I'm pointing to. Your world, your internal world and your external world will change. And it's not that do these things and your life will be better forevermore. It's be open-minded, be like open up your heart, open up your mind, open up your eyes, open up your ears to see and hear and think and feel new things, because God is always speaking to you through words, through posts on social media, the sky, the nature, just through everywhere. God is forever speaking to you and guiding you to stand in faith, to stand with that firm confidence that you know God is with you, that you know God will prevail over all, even the toughest of storms, even the bleakest of moments, even when you're in rock bottom. And when you stand and you stand solid in that certainty, in that confidence and that certainty, and you stand there knowing that God is certain, that God does not change its mind. God is never changing, never failing. God is always there. The love is unconditional. And when we stay in that faith and that assurance, our hearts open, our minds open, our eyes can see new things, and the experiences that are happening in our world, the circumstances that happen may be the same. You know, there may be crap going down in some places still, and I know there is. And you may be, you know, somebody may still cut you up on the motorway. Your kids may still not be listening to you. But the minute you let God into your heart and you hold on to that faith and that confidence, that certainty, that faith, that assurance that God will prevail, God does prevail, God has prevailed, those circumstances are still happening in the same way, but there's God in there now. And so when you look at it, it looks different, it feels different, you feel different. And so you can deal with those circumstances better. You can have a nicer experience of those circumstances. And then when there's a good circumstance in your world, when there's something you enjoy, something you like, something you prefer, it's amplified. It's like heightened. It's like the best thing on earth. It could be eating chocolate. It could be making a meal, having a meal with your family. It could be going for a walk. And when you have that faith and assurance in your heart, that goodness, that joy is amplified because there is an abundance. There is always an abundance where there is faith and where there is joy and where there is assurance and confidence and certainty. You get more of that. And so if we were to go down the opposite side of faith and assurance, let's just call it fear. Both of them is just fear. Fear and anxiety, and we sit in that place and we're fearful that there isn't a God, or we're fearful that, well, in the unseen, you know, the bottom of this verse is the unseen assurance, faith and confidence and hope and assurance in the unseen. So we can't see God, but we can feel God and we can know God. And that essence of belief is that essence or ideology of belief. When we think of belief, we think it's something that we believe in, that we have chosen to believe in. And on one level, it is something that we have chosen, but on another level, it's something that has chosen us. And um, and we cannot prevent ourselves from going in that direction. from following that calling, from following that space. So when we have that certainty, that knowing, that deep inner knowing of God and God's will, we get we we want to we want to know more. We want to know more and we want to feel more. And so we spend more time in that. And it's almost like, once we move away, because if we stay in that fear and that anxiety, we get more fear and anxiety. But once we've moved away from that fear and anxiety and we come back to the faith and the assurance in the unseen, because like I said, God is unseen, but he can be felt and he can be known. And once you feel and know, you cannot unknow. So I really hope there was something helpful in today's video, today's conversation. I'm going to end it on the scripture again, because I think there is something very profound for those of you who are ready to hear and those of you who are ready to explore. Now, faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. Now, faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance in what we do not see. Hebrews 11, verse 1. Thank you so much for listening. And if there's anything in this video that you wish to expand on more, or you want to talk to me privately, like always, email me, comment below this video. I am here. I love to talk and I absolutely love to listen. All the best, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.